Today's lesson, I'm going to give you one drill. I mean, one drill that incorporates pretty much everything you need to swing beautifully for the rest of your life, okay? We're talking about longevity here. We're trying to find a swing that you can use pretty much forever. Not one that's good when you're in your 20s and 30s and horrible when you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, okay? For you aging athletes out there, you're going to want to pay attention. We need to incorporate the wrist motion and the arm motion in the golf swing with the support of the body. Remember, it is a kinematic sequence. Lower body, upper body, arms, hands, and club. I completely understand that. But that doesn't mean switching off these fast twitch muscle fibers and spinning your body to more speed. That's going to do far more harm than good. You're going to lose distance. You're probably going to get a lot of injuries with your back and your hips. So it's not ideal. But we can kind of have our cake and eat it too. We can use the wrists and arms. And I'm going to help you today understand what I have my students feel in terms of body dynamics. It's going to be very, very important, all right? Looking forward to this one. All right, so what is this one drill that's going to help you with your rhythm, with your balance, with your wrist articulation, with your arm speed, so incredibly important, of course, with your body dynamics. It's called a momentum drill. I'm going to get us started here with the wrist. You can see here I'm moving the butt end of the golf club from one direction to the other, and in between these 2 points, in between here and here, the butt end of the club is moving back towards me. I'm not using my arms very much. I'm certainly not using my body very much, but we're going to start in here with a little bit of cadence. Obviously, this is not a golf swing, guys, but it's a wristy motion. All right, no tension in my wrists, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow my arms to respond and support the articulation of the wrists. So we're going to make a little bit more of a motion here. You can see here I'm going to take the club back a little further. Now my right wrist is going to hinge, my lower arm is going to fold, my right arm is going to start to elevate a little bit. On the way through here, my left arm, my lead arm, my wrist is going to rehinge, my lower arm is going to fold, and then my upper arm is going to start to elevate. So now all of a sudden I've got this sort of little motion here, which you would describe more wrists and arms, where I'm going back and through here. Again, I'm not engaging the ground yet. I'm not using my body just yet, but this is a great place to start. This drill here is kind of what we call a hitchhiker drill. See, I'm hinging, unhinging, and rehinging with very little tension, very little body dynamics. I'm not throwing my shoulders at the ball. I'm not firing my hips, but I'm getting that club head swinging freely. My elbows are pointing down on both sides of my body. I'm allowing the golf club to rehinge. I'm allowing it to release. Look what starts to happen when I start to use my body. All of a sudden, I look like I'm swinging the golf club dynamically. You can see it right here. Look at the body pivoting. All right, I can start to feel some pressure into my back foot, and then I'm loading my lead foot, and then I'm feeling a lot of pressure into my lead foot as I swing through. Look at the momentum I'm creating here when I swing, when I sling the golf club. All right, so now I've got my wrist, arms, and body moving in sequence. That's what I want you to understand. In my opinion, that's how you build a golf swing. But that's just one way of swinging, guys. There's lots of different ways of swinging a golf club. I just happen to think that's the easiest. But how do we translate that to hitting golf balls? Well, what I like to do is start off without a ball, okay, just hitting a tee. If I start above the tee here, what I'd want to do is I want to start forward, and you can see the butt end of the grip is actually pointing towards the camera. This is kind of where we want to start, all right? And what I'm going to do, like I mentioned, I'm going to focus a little bit more on my wrists initially, and I'm going to clip the head off the tee, just like that. You can see the tee pop out of the ground. Why is that important? Think about it for a second. How many of you early extend? How many of you struggle with low point control? If you're struggling with low point control, if I start with the club an inch above the ground, bring it forward and swing it above the tee, how in the world am I going to make contact with the tee, which of course is in the ground, if I early extend? I'm going to swing 3 or 4 inches above it. So it already is helping, even at the smallest level, right, with these little baby swings, it's helping you move your body better, all right? So here we go again, little tiny clips back and through, clip, clip, okay? I went ahead and moved the tee out of the ground. So we're gonna do that one more time, but now I'm gonna incorporate some arm swing, all right? I'm gonna get my arms essentially swinging to about parallel with the ground. What I did initially right here was just kind of swing my thumbs in both directions without any elevation, without folding my arms, really not engaging my arms at all. The next step, we're going to go to here. You can see a little bit of fold in each arm. My elbows are pointing down, and we're going to go ahead and just graduate. So again, we start forward. There's the first drill. You see both the thumbs pointing one direction to the other. Now what I'm going to do is start to allow my arms to swing. You see now I've got my thumb pointing up in the backswing. I'm going to go ahead and swing through. I've got my thumb pointing up in the through swing. I'm not doing anything crazy with my body at this point. We're going to go forward, start here, and then we go ahead and clip the tee out of the ground. Here we go. There we go. We got it out of the ground. Good. Okay, so now we are starting to create a hitchhiker drill. So many of you have watched my videos, you know I talk about the hitchhiker drill a lot, all right? But ultimately, you can't play golf with a hitchhiker drill. You know, you need to really have your arms be supported by the dynamic motion of your body. The body, of course, helps you create more speed. If I sat in a chair, lifted my feet in the air, and I swung my hands and arms, I wouldn't hit it very far. So how do we do that? Well, it's pretty straightforward. What I'm going to do here is start again with the wrists, go back and forth, just like this. I'm going to allow my arms to swing. I'm back to the hitchhiker drill. Now, watch what I'm doing with my feet. Important. Look at my feet. Back and through. Back and through. Can you see that? So from face on, this is the first step. Right here. Okay, this is the second step, right here, and this is the third step. Watch, I'm going to start forward. When I start forward, my right heel is off the ground. I'm loading my lead leg. I'm going to allow that club to swing. I'm going to allow my body to respond. Watch, I'm going to put my right heel down, my trail heel. I'm going to put it down, and then I'm going to swing to the top. Now, we're going to use the ground to stop ourselves from falling over, right? I mean, if your trail leg looks like a spaghetti noodle, think about it. When I swing back, I'm going to fall over. I'm going to collapse. That's the same on the way through, isn't it? If my lead leg's like a spaghetti noodle, I collapse, all right? So when we walk from one side to the other, as we walk, our lead leg pushes up a little bit, all right, to support our upper body. We essentially kick the ground, and as we kick the ground kicks back. It's the same in the golf swing, okay? If we get into the top of the backswing, we want to feel like we're moving our arms up and around our body. We're swinging the club freely. But I can tell you right now with this drill, I feel like I'm pushing into my right heel at the top of the backswing, okay? I've talked many times about spinning. That is not how you swing a golf club. The last thing you want to do, guys, is leave this back here and spin your body. You leave your hands and arms at the start line, you're going to have a problem. The beauty of this drill is it's a great drill for blending the verticals with your arms working down and the horizontals with your body rotating. But on the way through, I feel like I'm pushing back through my left heel. My lead leg essentially acts like a brake. If you can picture the club head being a crash test dummy, okay, your feet are where the rubber hits the road. Literally, if you watch a crash test dummy in the testing a car, the tires are your feet, okay? When you apply the brakes, the car stops very quickly. What happens to the crash test dummies? That's why it's so important to wear your seatbelt, guys. So think about it for a second. If I go ahead and slam on the brakes here, what I'm doing is I'm slinging the club head out even faster. Brake, sling. Brake, sling. So I feel like my chest is relatively quiet. What I'm not doing is throwing my upper body at the golf ball. So many of you throw the kitchen sink at the golf ball. All I'm doing here, look, is swinging my arms freely. I'm feeling pressure through my feet as I swing. Back, look at my left foot goes back down. Huge proponent of lifting the left heel. Back, the left foot goes back down, arms drop. Look at that. There's my vertical. Fantastic. That's what we're looking for. One more time, and then through. All right. Look at that left leg. Boom. Okay. So that's what we're looking for. So we start with the wrists, integrate the arms, then we start to use the ground. I'm going to go ahead and do this a few times. I'm going to go ahead and start forward, and I'm going to swing back, and then I'm going to swing through. Very, very simple. Off a tee. One more time. Let's start here. All right, now I can feel the handle. Look at the handle moving back towards me. All right, love that. Woo. Butt end of the club changes direction. The faster it changes direction, the more speed you're going to create out here. All right, we're going to create some angular momentum. And again, the more we slam those brakes on, the faster it throws the club out. No spaghetti noodles. Back, through, and there we go. Lead leg, really nice and firm. So feeling that pressure through the ground on both sides is incredibly important, all right? It helps your balance. This drill helps your cadence, all right? Swinging nice and smooth. Huge proponent of this momentum drill. Start slow, using tees. Start with the wrists, then the arms, and finally go ahead and start to use your feet